Good morning, everybody. My name is Kip, and you're watching America Bumper to Bumper. Today, we are coming at you from Ludlow, Vermont, and we are going to be looking at a really cool special car, and we'll tell you more about it in just a second.
Vroom vroom.
We are looking at 2005 Lotus Elise, and the really cool thing about this is the number one, the very first ever turbocharged Elise. And to tell us more about it, we're going to bring in the owner, Keith.
Hi, Kip.
Hey, Keith. Good nice to see you again. Tell us about the car. Tell us how you got it, how long you've had it, the turbocharged story, everything.
Okay. Well, this car I fell in love with, and I didn't know whether I fit in one or not. So I called the fellow who had done some work on one of my other cars, and he shared with me a phone number of a guy who had one, because I didn't want to drive to Boston or Montreal to go sit in one of the dealers.
I can only imagine.
And he in turn gave me a phone number of a guy, and he gave me a phone number of a fellow up in Stowe, Vermont, who had one the same year that I was looking at. And I called him up one day and I said, "Hi, you don't know me from Adam, but can I come and sit in your car?" So
that must have been a pretty good conversation starter right there.
Turned out he was a great guy.
Yep.
And I drove up to Stowe one Sunday morning, and he showed me how I could get in and out of it. I'm 6'5", and with a hard top on here, I'd have to be a professional limbo dancer to get in it. But anyway, we figured out how I can get in and out of it, and he gave me a hell ride in the back roads of Stowe in his. So I was sold, and I'm convinced I wanted this car. And I think it's the most beautiful car I've ever seen, in my biased opinion.
Actually, I couldn't agree more with you, because when I first saw these in the auto magazines, it's like someday, and for me, this is a huge dream come true, just to be able to see one up close, sit in one, all that sort of stuff for me too. So this is, I'm geeking out right now. All right, so you said that this is a turbocharged car.
Yes.
Yep. But it's not a Lotus turbo car.
That's right. It's
okay.
an aftermarket turbo. The president of force-fed turbochargers in California, his company did a lot of aftermarket turbos for exotic cars, and he had never done a Lotus Elise before.
Oh.
And in 2005 was the first sales in the U.S. of the Elise.
Yep.
So he bought this from the LA showroom and configured his Garrett turbo kit for this car and installed it on the car. And Motor Trend magazine opted to do an article on the car.
Oh, wow.
So the force-fed owner decided he put in buckets of time and money into making this car just right for that test.
Yeah, I bet.
Because obviously he wanted a good write-up in the Motor Trend article. And so the suspension and the SSR wheels and a lot of the harness and the turbo kit and stainless steel exhaust and a lot of mods to the car.
Yeah.
Turned this in from a stock Elise of the same vintage is 198 horsepower.
It's pretty good for how much weight?
Well, a stock Elise is about 1,970 pounds.
Dang.
This car is now 300 horsepower and 1,920 pounds. So it's a little lighter, but it has 50% more horsepower as well. So I guess the math comes out to 62 pounds per horsepower.
That's
which puts it in a class with cars that are performance-wise, they're 10 times as more expensive as this one.
Yeah, yeah. And the Lotus, the Elise's one that came out, they were what, about 40, 50 grand?
At the time, a 2005 Elise was probably in the high 30s.
Okay, okay. So,
you know, when you do the math of the cost of the material and
right.
labor to do all the mods to this is considerably more valuable than
oh,
that.
sure, sure.
But it was all done very professionally, and the Motor Trend test driver took it out and ran it through the paces at Riverside Raceway in California.
Yeah, yeah.
And all that data from his test runs were part of this Motor Trend article in 2005.
Wow.
And he had it at a top end of 187 on the track, and 0 to 60 he listed at 3.6 seconds.
That's really respectable in today's supercar market. To have this in 2005 is pretty amazing.
Yeah, and I've matched the 3.6 seconds thing. I haven't matched the 187 miles per hour number.
Yeah, I think the roads around here don't quite warrant that, but wow, that is great. All right, so 4-cylinder. Now, am I correct? This is a Toyota sourced engine?
Yes, it's a 1.8 liter Toyota block.
Okay.
That was popular in the Celica of the same vintage. And of course it's been heavily modified by Lotus itself, and then as you can see the turbo kit was added at a later time as well.
And the turbo is sitting down in the front, or is it? Yeah, it's got to be down over this side.
Yeah, and then the stainless steel exhaust feeds out directly under the compartment here. Mid-engine, the balance of the car is impeccable. Lotus engineering is among the best in the world as far as handling, suspension design, and so forth. And this car is an incredibly fun car to drive.
That is amazing. So it's intercooled?
Intercooler and turbo kit. There's a wastegate that you hear, of course, when you're driving.
Yeah.
It performs very well. I've never had a problem with it. I've had the car now for 9 years, and the only problem I've ever had with the car was I had to replace an ignition coil.
Yeah.
And other than that, it's been a great, reliable car. The adage for old Lotuses was that Lotus stands for lots of trouble, usually serious.
I haven't heard that. I'm gonna have to remember that one.
Which might have been true for the some of the Elans and the Europas and cars back in the 60s, but this car is really a whole nother level. This is it was designed, the Series 2 Elise, this one was designed wholly on the computer. It's the first Lotus designed completely on the computer. And they were smart to pick the reliability of the Toyota drivetrain. And matched with the Lotus styling and the handling. It's really a wonderful car.
Toyota transmission as well, tweaked by Lotus, or
yes. Yes.
So it's everything Toyota, under here, other than the tweaks that that Lotus did to it, and force fed.
Right.
Okay, that is awesome.
And the ECU has been replaced as well with a higher performance programming that matches the new turbo kit. And so
is that something force fed put in? Is
yes,
that okay?
Yes.
Cool, awesome. 300 horsepower and something this small. Unbelievable.
One of the nice things about it is it handles like a traditional British sports car. I mean, you can tour Vermont at 30 miles an hour through villages, and it's still a very enjoyable car.
Yep.
But if you want it, the power's there to perform like a supercar. So.
Awesome. with this kind of noise, you really don't need one.
It's actually a nice sounding stereo.
Yep. So AC2, wow, it's actually a good cruiser even for those cooler days,
yeah.
And those warmer ones when you really don't want the top on. But who wouldn't want it? A touch, but it's definitely not as bad as it could be.
Yeah, it's actually pretty comfortable considering what it is. And Vermont roads certainly give you that test, don't they?
Yeah, amen to that. Yeah, they definitely weed out the poor cars.
Coilover shocks that were added to it.
Okay.
And that's probably a little difference in the ride that you feel, certainly. And then the lighter wheels are SSR racing wheels.
All right.
And I created some custom center caps myself that fit in there that had the Lotus logo on them.
Awesome. Awesome.
Keep it looking good. As I said, the stainless steel exhaust system adds a few horsepower as well. Plus, with the fiberglass body and the aluminum chassis that's all actually glued together with space age adhesives as opposed to a lot of bolting to reduce the weight. The car essentially is not going to rust away on me because.
You can't stay with that CRX you were telling me about earlier, right?
That's right.
Oh,
there's a nice street rod there.
Yeah. Well, like I say, this is an absolute dream come true, and I cannot thank you enough for being willing to do this and going for the ride and everything. So.
Oh, my pleasure, Kip. It's great to meet you and. Continued success with what you do.
Awesome, thank you very much.
I remember the first time I rode in this car, as you can tell from how low we're sitting. I mean, our hind end's about half an inch off the aluminum floor pan on the bottom of the car. The first time I did 60 miles an hour in this car, I felt like it was going 100 because of how low we sit. So.
Yeah, oh yeah.
But you get used to that.
Yeah, I can definitely see myself getting one of these as soon as YouTube, hey, start following me, people. Come on, I need one of these things. So what do you guys think about the Lotus that we featured here? It's a great looking car, great sounding car, and I really thank Keith, the owner, for bringing it out and letting me take a look at it, take me for a ride. It was a ton of fun, and if I ever come up with enough money, this is in the running for a car that I'd love to have. So if you guys really enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. If you are new to the channel, please hit the subscribe button as well as the notification bell so you know when new videos are being uploaded. Finally, make sure you're following us on Facebook and Instagram because there's going to be stuff there you will not see on this channel. Have a day. Hopefully it's a good one.